Hey folks, Randy here with Doing Cut and Trim. There's something I have been going through for the past year, and this November 1st officially hits like the 1 year mark of this thing, and so I wanted to talk to you guys about it. And that is a year ago, I started trying to get myself together physically. I was in a really low place uh, back in November of 2021 and realized I needed to make some changes. Um, and so I wanted to talk to you guys about them. As a lot of you guys know, or at this point, I don't know how many of you guys know, but my oldest son, who actually just turned 10, has some pretty severe special needs. Um, he's 10, and it like depending on what domain you're looking at, he generally functions at like a I would say a 1 or 2 year old level in most domains. He doesn't talk. He has different ways he can try and communicate stuff, but he doesn't use words. And there's different issues with his brain, and a part of that is he has seizures, and they can be pretty bad at times. And back that a year ago, we were going through one of those bad times, and those seizures get bad enough, and sometimes they'll get so bad that he actually stops breathing during the seizure, and you find yourself in a situation where it's like, if he doesn't start breathing again on his own, ambulance isn't going to be here in time. He's going to die. And so you get into these modes where he's having a seizure every couple of days, and during those seizures, you really don't know if he's going to live or not. You're pretty sure he will, but you don't know, and that is really uh, taxing as a parent. Um, it's just kind of like you're just kind of constantly up here, because it's like every time he has a seizure, which will be soon, that could be the one that kills him. And so I was really depressed, really sad, um, and was basically eating to make myself feel better. Our local grocery store, Aldi, has these cookies and cream ice cream, like store brand. And I don't know what it is about their cookies and cream ice cream, but their little $2 half gallon of cookies and cream ice cream is just the greatest ice cream I've ever tasted in my life. And so I would, to numb the pain, I would buy those, and I would eat an entire half gallon of ice cream at night. I'd just sit there um, in the living room, everybody else gone to bed, and I would just kind of watch TV or whatever and eat that. It's a very sad, dark time, and I was thinking about my son a lot, and just because it's just sad about it. And I started thinking, and I was like, doing this, like eating out of control, is not helping me. At that point, I was up to 370 pounds, which is by no means my largest. Um, and I mean, the biggest I've ever been is 415. That was back in 2017. And so I was like, if I keep eating like this, I'm not going to be able to take care of my son. There's no way. I mean, and I need to be there for him because I don't know how long that's going to be, but I need to make sure I'm here in an active part. And down in a half gallon of cookies and cream ice cream every night. Sometimes a gallon. Like sometimes I would do like buy two of those things, and I would polish them off over the course of. No, I mean I would buy three, and I would eat them over the course of 2 nights. I mean it was nuts. And I realized that if I keep doing that, along with all the other eating I'm doing, I'm not gonna be around to take care of him. I'm not gonna be able to do it. And so I realized I needed to turn things around, and decided I was gonna start getting serious about my fitness and losing weight. Um, And so I guess, I don't know. Saying all that, I just wanted to tell you guys what I did. I started off at 370 pounds November 1st of 2021. And we're sitting here in November 1st of 2022, and I'm sitting at 298. So I've lost a total of 72 total, like net, I've lost 72 pounds in the past year. I actually had gotten down to 281 in August, but then slowly have crept back up. So working on that, and I might talk more about that later on in this video. But I'm down 70 pounds over the course of a year. And so what I did was I really wanted to run, because the thing that's always kind of bothered me is that I know I'm in, if you were able to look past all the fat everywhere and look underneath, you would see there's a very strong, fit, if I could, person under there. You know, I can work all day, I can work hard, I can do heavy labor all day, and it doesn't bother me. I mean, I might be a little tired by the end of the day, but by the time tomorrow comes, I'm ready to do it again. So I wanted to start doing things that would allow me to use that more and be able to express that more, and then also allow me when I'm older to still take care of my son. I'm 35 at this point, just for reference. And so the first thing I started doing was like I try and just find small things that I can do, and then build off of that, because I've done this a couple times. The first thing I did was just cutting out pasta. You know, things like cutting out bread that doesn't really do anything, because I don't really eat bread anyway. Excuse me. And I don't drink soda, unless I was actually no, not even at a restaurant. Because I would just get water at a restaurant. So I mean, cutting out soda and bread was kind of like meaningless. But cutting out pasta was tough. But the other thing that I started doing was working out. My aunt, when she moved away, she got rid of her treadmill, and the treadmill, it's actually a really nice treadmill. It's got like a tablet built into it, and there's this program called iFit that you pay like $15 a month, and it gives you all these training programs on the treadmill. And so I was like, well, I want to get into running, because that's just something I've wanted to do, not because I necessarily wanted to do it. I just wanted to be able to say I did it. And so I started running, and I found that they have these like programs on the treadmill. So I picked a intro to running program, and was doing one of those, and it's like a thing where it's like a trainer, and they're like running through, I don't know, somewhere in Spain or Portugal or just whatever country, Germany, whatever country. And I was doing that, and I was doing that, and the trainer talks to you and stuff. And one of the things the trainer said was like, well, we're going to focus on rate of perceived exertion of whatever he said. And so this is how we're going to figure that out, or whatever. I'm messing up, butchering it, but basically figure out, we're going to take your age, your weight, multiply by this, but there's like a whole formula. That's going to give you a number. That's the heart rate you should be shooting for. So if that means that you're walking during this program and hitting that heart rate, that's fine. Or if you're sprinting, whatever, that's the heart rate you want to shoot for. And that made it really easy for me to get into running, because then, I had a Fitbit, and so I could just check my Fitbit to see where my heart rate was, and that kind of let me know, do I need to work harder or I need to work less? I mean, in the beginning, a 3 mile an hour jog, which I can also walk that fast, would get me there. And so I started doing that. And the nice thing about about using that heart rate as a metric to determine how fast or hard you're going to work, is as you get in better shape, you just naturally go faster. So whereas in the beginning, 3 miles an hour would get me there, then it was 3.5 miles an hour, then it was 3.8, 4, 4.5, 5. Five, 5.5 is basically what'll get me there now. Uh, and so I started doing that, and the weight started very slowly coming off. But then I started to incorporate eating more. I don't know what else to call it. Clean. I don't know if that's the right term or not. But basically, started eating meat and vegetables, and that was pretty close to it. When I first started doing that, I didn't know what to do, so it was like I would just go to the frozen section of the grocery store, and I don't know why, but I was like, well, I'll do Brussels sprouts. I don't know why I picked Brussels sprouts, but I was like, I'll try and eat Brussels sprouts. Um, and I didn't like them, especially like frozen. I didn't like them. But there was this weird transition that I think your body goes through when you're trying to eat healthy. Where when I first started, you literally are like it's like detoxing from drugs, man. I mean, it's like you're going from not from eating like all this fast food and junk and sugar and whatever, and it was like a month of just like it just didn't feel great, where you're just like because you're detoxing yourself from all this stuff that you were using to play for pleasure, and then on top of that, you realize like just how much emotional eating you do, and it's a lot. And because I was eating emotionally a lot, because I was going through a very emotional thing, all of a sudden I didn't have this emotional outlet anymore, and that made things even harder. So it was a big transition. So I want to talk more about food, but um, you know what? Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll do this like a part two, because I'm definitely going to lose track of what I'm talking about, and it's time for us to start working. So this is Randy with Doing Cut and Trim. I hope this was interesting, at least so far. But part two, I'm going to start talking about what I ate to lose weight, and that'll pretty much bring us to current. And then from there, I want to talk about going forward. But I hope this was interesting. Randy with Doing Cut and Trim. Have a good one.